And away we go. Speed magic.
All right, 2 companions here. We got Yorion up against Gigantha, definitely the 2 most popular. You
Oh,
see
yeah.
Kahira as well.
Kitty.
And there's your favorite cat coming
yeah.
in to do some draining.
Oh, I love this cat. I got to reveal this cat. I know I say it every time, but I'm so proud of it.
That is awesome. That's a
Yeah.
cool card to reveal.
It's still seeing play. It's so nice.
It's not only seeing play, it's good. It's real good, that's for sure.
Yeah, Kitty, go get him.
So no turn 2 play here from Will. That is not ideal. You definitely want up the Beanstalk,
That would be nice,
Night Leo's Presence, anything to get on the battlefield to then have Enigmatic Incarnation, have something to sacrifice.
Look, now we just need Egra and we have a combo.
There you go. Yeah.
Enigmatic Incarnation is what we're hoping to find. It is a Fable the Mirror Breaker first and foremost, and there is a Goblin Shaman. I want to go and doodle him a Goblin Shaman.
Yeah, absolutely. I just hope he's using the Cory Ballmeister treasure token. We'll
Oh,
see if
we'll
that
see.
gets in there. Yeah.
Extra points, right?
And
Oops, sorry. Mayhem Devil. I like this guy too.
so Mayhem Devil comes down. I got a quick glance of Will's hand. I saw Atraxa. I saw Leyline Binding. So you basically never want to draw the Atraxa here. That is usually not ideal. But the deck can definitely just cast it, especially with help from the Shaman.
Yeah.
But no harm in discarding it. I did see the red Overlord as well. So being able to impend that for 4 mana, kill Mayhem Devil, and attack
Yeah.
with Shaman, sign me up.
Yep. That is an excellent way to deal with Mayhem Devil, who's not doing anything right now because there's no sack outlet on the board. Where is our oven? That's what Jared is going to be asking for. But otherwise, an ideal start here.
Yeah, and you know it's not in Jared's hand right now because last turn it was just a Cauldron Familiar and then a tap land. You definitely would have played it before. So here comes the nice impending. Now, a little refresher of how these impendings work for anybody who hasn't seen it. At end step, it counts down, you know, and then once it counts down on the final turn, it's now a creature.
Yeah.
So when it's on the stack, notably, it's a creature. You can't spell pierce it.
Sure.
Even though now it's not a creature. So that is slightly confusing, something to be wary of if you're playing this deck or you're playing against it.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that 4th turn, it's going to be a creature now. It'll be an enchantment creature, though, that can be destroyed.
And can attack and block.
Oh, yeah.
Notably. But not right now, as the cats are trying to get in there. Get one of them in the bin. Shaman is going to do just that.
And this was a choice by Will to not attack with the Shaman to get the treasure token. Maybe just saying, hey, I don't need it, and maybe wants to play a little bit of defense. I was expecting him to attack with that because there's no way Jared wants to double block with 2 Cauldron Familiars and not get any value there.
Definitely not. Deadly Disputes is going to sacrifice the kitten. Get a treasure, get a card. Dig a little deeper to try and find the combo. We have Bloodtithe Harvester in hand, and it looks like we have a copy of Eager in hand too, so that's really good stuff for Jared.
Yeah, Yeager, a card that we don't necessarily see get cast that often. It's definitely brought back with level 3 of Scavenger's Talent. But, you know, it's just a giant creature that's pretty annoying to kill.
Yes.
Yeah. You ever played against that card in Limited?
Yes.
Ugh, not for long, I bet.
Several times.
Yeah, I bet you didn't play too many turns against it.
Nope. Fatal Push takes care of the Goblin Shaman. And we see the reflection of Kiki-Jiki, courtesy of Chapter 3 of Fable.
Yeah, and I believe we see the new addition here of the Roaring Furnace and Steaming Sauna here in hand. Ooh. I love this card. 5 mana for just a one-sided draw 2 cards. You know, we can everybody turn your heads collectively.
Yeah, or turn your TV.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, another really interesting way this interacts with Enigmatic Incarnation, it's not really intuitive. If you've unlocked the Room of the Rolling Furnace, you get a 3-drop creature. If you've unlocked the Steaming Sauna, you get a 6-drop creature. If you've unlocked both of them, you get an 8-drop creature to combine the mana value. So there's no 8-drops in the in the deck, so we're not going to see that too often, but not an intuitive play and something for y'all at home to be aware of.
That is very confusing.
It sure is.
Yeah, we'll go play with that deck later and see. Yee,
100%.
kitty cat. Big cat's in. Using that treasure, courtesy of the Deadly Dispute, and here comes Eager. I love new sets. Everyone's always like, what the heck does this card do?
And you see a lot of these tournaments where, like, well, grinders that have been playing the game forever, like Will Pulliam, that maybe haven't been playing a lot lately, maybe qualified when he had a free Sunday at his local game store because he's an incredible gamer, and then maybe didn't play until testing for this. So you're going to see a lot of these really great players that are going to have to read these cards.
Yeah. Leyline Binding is going to come on down, but we have to pay the price. Nope, not going to go for Igra because he cannot pay. And it's going to be the cat instead. Cauldron Familiar taken care of. 6 mana to deal with a 1/1. Not actually 6, but you know, a 6 mana spell.
Exactly. And could have, I guess, sacked the Reflection if he really wanted to.
Eh.
But, you know, that is a cost and probably has an answer set up for it already.
Just check. Just check.
Oh,
Read it again. Corey, do us the honors of reading Igra so that everyone knows what this cat does.
So, of course, first it starts by ward, sacrifice of food. Most of the time, that's a near impossible ask. But other creatures are food artifacts in addition to their types and have pay 2 sack like a normal food would. And then whenever a food is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Yigra, Eater of All. So, you know, all of Will's creatures are food. So, has the ability, if he has another Leyline Binding or whatever, to then deal with Yigra. But we'll see. It looks like there is a get lost. So, here is the ability to be able to deal with it straight away. And I would recommend that he does so.
Yeah, this cat gets out of hand real quick.
Yeah.
2 cats in the, 1 cat in the bin, 1 in exile.
Yeah, and I wonder if that was maybe a misspec here from Will Pulliam, as that Leyline Binding, getting rid of the Cauldron Familiar, is so low impact right now.
Doesn't do all that much.
And now he's holding up Get Lost to be able to deal with Yigra on Jared's turn, where Will could have went end step, Leyline Binding, Yigra, sacrifice Reflection.
No. I think he had the combo win there because of Igra being out with a cat. There's one in the bin.
Sure,
so the cats just eat each other and then ding 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 ding.
Sure.
So,
Okay. Not dying is good.
Yes.
I didn't
dying is good.
I didn't see the second cat in the yard. Then of course he had to go for that. Otherwise he was dead. Good call.
Rough times, Corey. It's a cat eat cat world out there.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So I mean, get rid of the one that's easier to get rid of. Keep your board, and then let's see where we go from here. Still doesn't have all that many blockers. Will is down to 12. Jared's sitting at a very healthy 20 with Bloodtithe Harvester joining the fray.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is other cats gain the food ability, so Yigra itself is not a food.
No, it's not prey.
Yeah,
it's a predator. Munch.
So now it can be dealt with now that there's only 1 cat available in either battlefield or the graveyard.
Yeah. So Jared needs to find another cat or deal with the Leyline Binding, which black-red is, well, John, I suppose. The green side can deal with it, but not really in the main deck as far as I know.
Yeah, and the one thing Jared could have, we don't know exactly what's in hand. Now we do. It's Mayhem Devil and Blood and Cliffs, a land, where if he had a Cauldron Familiar in hand, could sack it to the blood, discard it, and then combo at instant speed. So doesn't have it. Now we'll know that the coast is clear and probably dealing with one of these high-impact cards.
Down to 6. Ooh, Mayhem Devil likes single digits, I'll tell you that much.
Yep. So now I believe Will does have 4 cards in hand, so this Roaring Furnace can deal with Mayhem Devil. And Get Lost can then deal with Yigra, depending on if Will decides to do that. Looks like that's where we're starting.
Room's a new permanent type introduced with Duskmourn. Just a reminder, if you do want to go and get your Duskmourn product, check out SCG's website and go get some. Because the set's pretty cool. I wasn't a big fan when I saw the aesthetic and everything, and I was like, this seems weird. I saw the rooms, and I was like, okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, the whole kind of horror aspect is not really for everyone.
Yeah.
I personally love it.
Yeah.
So I was excited from the beginning, but I'm like, the main thing that matters to me is the gameplay, and the gameplay is incredible. You know, I mean, in every single format right now, Magic's just got great gameplay.
Yeah.
Really nice here for the future of the game.
Shout out to all the designers who work so hard and test so many cards.
So the one thing is Will has the answer for the big creatures, kind of in air quotes, but let's take a look at the top left part of our screen. Will's at 4.
He is at 4, yeah.
You know, this is not a lot of life. The one thing that is sweet right now is Overlord at end step comes in as a creature.
Yeah.
Reflection's got a nice, juicy target.
Whee! Adios, dear vampire friend.
The classic MTG grinder here, Will Pulliam, not having his own tokens, of course, or a copy token or anything. Just the backside of a sleeve.
Yeah. So, Mayhem Devil was sacrificed because it is currently a food to the cat to get the one cat out the bin. I don't love that, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have kept the Mayhem Devil around because there is one more sack on the board at least in the blood token.
Yep. But there we go. Ygra is finally destroyed. The ward was paid with the copy to Overlord. That would have went away at Jared's end step, as this was Will's end step.
That's a sacrifice, right?
The
copy?
Yes. Yep.
See, that's why I would have... Okay, granted, the Mayhem Devil just would have gotten killed, but...
Yeah. But it would have been sacrificed at Jared's end step, since you do it at your own end step.
Yeah. Okie dokie. See, map tokens? I mean... Yes, yes. Mayhem Devils are indestructible. It's back. Cool. Yay. All right. So now we have 3 things that we can snack on.
This might just be GG.
I think it is.
Because if anything, you can always sack a map, deal 1 damage to Cauldron Familiar, sack the blood, deal 1, Cauldron Familiar comes back, deal 1, then sack the map again, deals 3. I guess I am only seeing 3 at the moment, but anything else from Jared.
Yeah.
And this should be GG.
Let's see. It's got 1 card in hand, it looks like. So
yeah,
gonna pay
like
1,
that.
map token, sack. Targeting the cats, trigger on Rakdos, on Mayhem Devil.
And with Jared pausing this much, it definitely seems like he doesn't have the win yet.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the win yet, this reflection copying the Overlord, killing Mayhem Devil, will stabilize.
Yeah. I wonder then if it's not better to kill the reflection.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't think that you can win right now, sure.
Yeah. Is that another Mayhem Devil in the bin off the top?
Yep. Just got explored into the yard.
Mm-hmm. Down to 2.
Okay, there's Scavenger's Talent.
Almost called it Scavenging Ooze. I'm like, nope, that's not a card scene.
We'd be marking
right
1 for you on your little tally.
I sure would be, yeah.
And now it's a tough choice.
Mm.
You know, because if that last card is a land, then you can deal 1 to reflection, sack the blood. But I guess, yeah, you can't even, like, discard a card if you don't have a card in hand. So, yeah, that might not be good enough for Jared.
Big thinkies here.
And this could be a moment where we look back at the end of game 1 where we're like, wow, we needed to kill that reflection. As, you know, we see Will's hand. There's 2 different colored sleeves. That's because one's a Yorion.
Yeah.
And one's something else. So, yeah, here we go. Will gets a turn.
I think the other one is, no, yeah.
Looks like Beseju. Could be wrong, though, which is a nice one.
Is that Otawara, maybe?
Could be.
Let's do this.
Step number 1, copy the Overlord, deal with Mayhem Devil. That has to happen right now.
Ding, bye-bye.
And now Will's got to feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
So this is also an attack trigger. Because why not?
Ouch.
Yep.
Yeah, that hurts. Cat down.
So, cat in the yard when Will's at 2 is still scary. You know, there's no food yet.
Down to, jeez, that's a lot of damage.
Yep.
Down to 7. Okay. Will is pulling ahead here, friend.
Yeah, now it's just going to be, can he find anything to really gain him some life, close out the game? Didn't play Yorion, so there's at least something to cast.
Yeah.
I can't quite
I think it's
see.
Otawara.
That makes sense, and that's fine. That's a nice one.
Man, we just needed like a food or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, at any game when your opponent ends at an effective 1, you got to feel like, what could I have done?
Yeah, like this is a game I kind of want to go back and watch again just to see what different decisions could have been made at different points.
We'll just have our director rerun this, and we'll just check it out again and watch it in a closer lens.
Slow motion.
Yeah. So the land was discarded there to the blood, so we know there's the Scavenger's Talon and a Fable of the Mirror Breaker here. Those don't do it, Ailey.
That's not going to do anything.
And I mean,
here.
look at this. The reflection wins the game where Jared could have dealt with it.
Wow, yeah.
And maybe bought an extra turn or whatever. You know, it doesn't mean that Jared would have won the game.
No, definitely not.
But instead, the game ends immediately.
Yeah. See, now my brain is just going through that game, and it's like, okay, where could we have done things differently? The lack of a sack outlet is kind of what I think messed him up the most, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
An oven instead of that second cauldron familiar would have been game over.
Game would have been over turns ago. It would have been not even remotely close. But as it stands, a nice, clean, close game by Will Pulliam. And, you know, this wasn't the combo finish that we saw, even though the combo was basically on the stack.
Yeah.
You know, Jared was that turn, you know, that one turn where Will had the leyline binding for the second Cauldron Familiar away from just winning the game on the spot. So while that game, you know, looked dominating by Will at the end, it was extremely close in a lot of different metrics.
Yeah, excellently piloted by Will Pulliam.
Yeah.
Doing a great job with Enigmatic Incarnation. This is a rough spot, though, for Jund Sacrifice, because now let's take a look at the sideboard for Will Pulliam's side of things. You know, we have Rest in Peace there. That's bad news bears. If you can find a copy of that, like there's no combo. You're just relying on a massive cat, basically.
Yeah, so the one thing of how it works out when it comes to these Enigmatic Incarnation Yorion decks, most of the time you look at the cards in your deck and you think, what cards need to come out? Because while you're a Yorion deck, you play a lot of one-ofs, they're going to be pretty bad in certain spots. You know, kind of the first card I'm looking at, High Noon, I don't really want in this matchup that much. It can be okay. It's not absolutely terrible, but you'll get some cards out. I like Elspeth Conquers Death. There's some decent targets. That's fine to bring in. Lightning Helix, fine. Another removal spell. Rest in Peace, Slam Dunk, like you were saying. And then Reckoner Bankbuster as another card that can come in from Will. So fine options. Then we look on Jared's side, and we see Thoughtseizes. Those are going to be great to bring in. Just a good way to break up the synergies from Will. You kind of want to Thoughtseize on turn 3 right before the Enigmatic Incarnation because that's the card that really crushes you.
Or you just blow it up with a Haywire Might.
Exactly. And then Haywire Might is the other card I really love. And outside of that, nothing too special here from Jared.
So this is going to be a fun game 2 here between these two players sitting at 3-0. They would love to advance their records to 4-0. Get to that magic number of 6.
Yep.
To come back and jam some day 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Great start to these players for sure. But, of course, they want a little bit more.
Who doesn't?
Yep. And, I mean, these were, I believe, 4th and 5th as far as most played decks. Enigmatic Incarnation being 4th, Jund Sacrifice being 5th, at about 7% of the metagame. So both of these being relatively known quantities for both players, so they should have a nice, solid game plan against each other.
Yeah.
Should see a nice match.
What's your sideboarding ritual? Do you go with a plan against different decks so you don't have to think too much? Because I've seen a couple players do that.
Yeah.
Or do you just like have it all in your brain and...
So it's a little bit of both. As my ritual before a tournament is I like to make a sideboard guide of my top, you know, I always look on, you know, certain decklist websites and I'll look at the top, you know, like 15 matchups. I'll write out my entire sideboard guide and that helps me with my sideboard numbers. Like I could be like, wow, against Phoenix, I need to take out 4 more cards than I have for sideboard cards. And I'm like, okay, maybe I need to rearrange my sideboard to be able to make sure that I can bring in enough cards. After I do all my matchups for every single deck that I expect, then I will either type it out, or if I know the deck well enough, which if I'm coming to a tournament like a RC, I will know my deck list enough where I don't have to have a printed out sideboard guide. And then I'll deviate from my plan based on the different choices that I see from my opponent's deck. So my answer is a little bit of both. Like, I think it's very important to have a guide, have a plan going into a tournament, but I think just looking at a guide as this, you know, this
be all end all.
Exactly, is bad. You know, so I think you need to be able to adjust on the fly if you're going to win a tournament like this, because Jared's list might not be like the Jund Sacrifice list I was preparing for when I built my sideboard guide. So, yep, that's my plan usually.
Sweet. So, I hope you took notes if anyone out there is getting ready to play in an RCQ or getting ready for the
any other RCs. You know, there's so many
There's
more
lots of-
regional
lot of RCs,
championships.
yeah.
And Ailey, I gotta say, you know, we usually commentate the world championships together, and seeing the players that win their RC and they convert it into a deep run,
Yeah,
you know,
that's sick.
there's nothing better. And these are usually the happiest players to be at Worlds.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes that's a detriment to them. Maybe it's the I'm happy to be there type mantra. But, you know, the players that are like, all right, that was step one, qualify for Worlds. And now they're like, well, now I got a big tournament to play. And those players that go deep, it's always really, really exciting to watch, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, really cool stuff.
I would love to play in one of these.
Yeah.
My 2-year-old dictates otherwise. So,
Yeah, that's fair. Absolutely.
but yeah, if I had the ability to go to one of the like RCQs or just to any of the qualifiers that feed into an RC, that would be
Yeah.
rad. I would love to.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yep. I've never played in the regional championships, but I've played of similar size tournaments, you know,
Yeah.
Grand Prix, Nationals back in the day, those kind of things. And man, there's nothing like going deep in one of these events and like going to dinner with your buddies, being like hearing the condolence stories of, hey,
Yeah.
I just missed day 2, or the buddies that are 9-0, you
Yeah.
all rally around them, you start practicing for them when it's close to their top 8 and stuff. The community it builds with your team that you go to one of
that's
these events
fantastic.
with, it's unmatched.
I just get to see, as an outside observer, I get to have a look at all the players, all the testing teams, just, their preparations going into events like this from the Pro Tour side mostly, but even in the lobby,
Yeah.
the last 2 nights. Guys have been jamming games until like 1 a.m.
Yes, absolutely. I have loved it. Right when I got here late, Thursday,
Yeah.
I'm walking in. There's people gaming left and right. I'm trying to like peek over, and seeing like what kind of decks are being played. It's really fun to see this
Yeah.
kind of energy from a big event like this.
Even in airports, like you could just sense some Magic players nearby when you start hearing things like triggers and
Oh yeah,
end steps, and I was like, aha, I know you're playing this weekend.
exactly. I was just like getting ice in my hotel room last night for a beverage, and I just hear me like, dude, you gotta beat Atraxa, you hat, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, it just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy.
I'll tell you what doesn't feel warm and fuzzy right now for Jared is I think he's mulliganing to 4.
I think he is. That dice right there usually indicates how many mulligans you've had. So, as much as you don't want to see that, Will is like, hey, condolences on that. But in the back of his mind, he's like, 3. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, you know what? It's part of the game.
Yeah.
So here we go with the Scavenger's Talent down on the board first and
Yep.
foremost. That is a good start now for Jared. So let's get going.
Yep, and we're seeing a lot of comments here in the chat, why the headphones from the players. So, a couple reasons. One, this venue is extremely loud. We have the
Yeah.
technology where we're kind of, neutralizing that background noise
Yeah.
that you're hearing.
We've just given you all noise-canceling earphones. So
Exactly.
You're welcome.
So these players can communicate in a loud setting. We're also next to the feature match area, so we don't want the players to hear our coverage and get any
Yeah.
kind of things. Because believe it or not, Ailey, this is going to be news to you.
Yeah?
I'm loud.
Yeah, you're hella
I'm
loud.
a loud
You almost
talker.
blew my eardrums out yesterday
Exactly.
during the tech
So
check.
we don't want Jared to hear, or we don't want Will to hear about the things that we're saying.
Or any player, to be honest.
Exactly. So it looks like here's a Thoughtseize. This is going to be a snap fabled, I would imagine. But once again, Will drawing the Atraxa. You never want to be drawing these kind of gigantic hits. But, sometimes you have to. This seems like a slam dunk. Take the Fable. And then Will's hand is quite bad.
It is indeed, because a lot of players do rely on Chapter 2 of Fable the Mirror Breaker to
Yeah.
make their hand a little better.
Yeah, I mean,
That's not great.
Fable is definitely the card to take here, or the card that Will would have been slamming. But having a Torch the Tower to kill, maybe the first threat, as well as just probably what we're going to see is purchase Yorion next turn and kind of go from there. But, of course, Will can just top deck another 3-drop and be on his way.
Yep. So it's going to be Fable. Get that out of here. Looks like another land, perhaps, drawn off the top there.
I think a Leyline Binding, but I could be wrong. At quick glance, I've been trying to work on my,
Yeah.
just try to view the card
Flashcards.
at a flash. Exactly. Boom, Leyline Binding in the back.
Hey,
Woo!
look at you go, bud.
I'm trying.
That's why you earn the big bucks.
Yes. And a Triome picked up as well, so will have the option to be able to play Leyline Binding on a notable card or just cycle this Triome. I wouldn't be shocked to see Torch torch the tower on... Oh, okay.
All right. No, I like that because Yorion can bounce that.
Exactly. And now Yorion can clean up Fable next turn as well. So you kind of get both halves here for the price of one.
Bounce, bounce, bounce.
And I like that. Just take all the resources from Will that you can, but decides not to do it. Maybe didn't have an untapped land.
Triumphs. Setnalia's presence. Yep.
Okay.
Gonna make some extra mana.
There is the beautiful combination with Leyline Binding. Nylea's presence on the land, you automatically have Domain. That also works for the everywhere counters from the Overlords. You're going to be seeing that.
Overlords of the Hauntwoods, yeah, it makes the everywhere land.
It really shows a lot about the player on what your token is for the everywhere token, you know? Yep. I'm going to guess. Will doesn't have a token. That's going to be my guess. He's just going to like
it's going to be a sleeve or
a
something.
back of a sleeve.
Yeah.
Yep, that's my guess. But we'll see.
So Fables aplenty here for Jared Calabrese. We got one little buddy on the board. And we did have Portable Hole take care of the talents. So still in the setup phase here, not looking to pop off anytime soon.
So it looks like this is the beautiful Bird Serpent to be able to blink 2 things, draw a card, plus Leyline Binding something, and then next turn, we're all wrapped up to just hard cast Atraxa.
Sure, why not?
Yep.
When in doubt, just pay for it.
Yeah, why not? Oh, there's nothing more exciting to me than just that trigger that goes on the stack at an end step where you get your stuff back. Now, back in my day when I played Yorion cards, you could get back some like Charming Prince, do some blinks, maybe Glasspool Mimic to copy to do more loops. I could literally talk for days on different cool things you can do with Yorion, but I'm getting word from our director. He says, please don't do that, Corey, so I won't, okay?
Yeah, you're getting word from me too that that's probably not the best idea.
That's why you're punching me in the arm. Okay,
No,
I get it. I get it.
I did no such thing. I'd kick you under the table so no one could see.
Okay. Thank you for the consideration. I appreciate you there.
Alrighty, what do we got? Deadly Dispute. Let's take care of a critter, or I should say sacrifice a critter to draw, get some treasures.
Yep, got the shaman in there so you can get the treasure and then get essentially another treasure after this Deadly Dispute. And Jared's trying, fighting the good fight here, drawing some extra cards, got some resources going. But the one thing you need to do against this enigmatic deck when you're playing Jund Sacrifice is get out of the gates quickly. Yeah, at this point, I don't want to call it this early.
Look, you said if there's a bunch of permanents on the board, Will is winning.
Yeah. Oh, he's winning. But I don't want to call it as over yet. But next turn, hard casting Atraxa here is going to be definitely difficult for Jared.
Okay, if you won't, I will. It's over.
Okay, there we go. Yep. There we go.
Yeah. I ain't no coward.
And I don't actually see land 7 from Will, so maybe it's not over just quite yet.
Question mark?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Alrighty, we're going to do some more goblin things. What's that, the third one now he's played?
And I mean, that's one of the cards that can kind of get you back into it, but it is an amazing card, but a little late.
Yeah. Burb's going to swing in here for 4, down to 14. We'll go Jared. Hey, there's a land. Let's tap all the things. Make sure we got enough mana, and boom! Atraxa. Grand Unifier.
This is exactly what this deck's trying to do, just hard cast Atraxa.
Exactly.
Not sacrifice a Leyline Binding or anything.
No. Not at all. So, word soup here for Atraxa. Keyword soup, flying, Vigi, Death Touch, Lifelink. Gonna enter, look at all the cards. You get to pick one of each type. And it's just in your hand, so good old refuel.
And here's an interesting thing that we'll probably see. Maybe not in this specific pile, but the Overlord can be enchantment or creature. It doesn't count for both. So, if there was a Leyline Binding or whatever here, you could get Leyline and Overlord, essentially.
With those 5 cards, all lands.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
So this was
Jeez.
actually a relatively...
that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was like a relatively bad hit for Will, though.
Yeah.
As in, like, this deck can really get 6 or 7 cards off Atraxa.
Yeah.
It's one of the better Atraxa decks out there.
I kind of want to build an Atraxa deck and just see how long it takes me to get all 10.
To get all 10? I don't even know if it's possible.
It is.
Is it?
It should be.
I'm not even going to
You know,
try to
Sphinxes,
figure out all of
Divining,
them.
Toppers. I'm not in Pioneer, that's for sure.
Okay.
But, like, yeah, you know, battles, just chuck everything in there and
Sure.
stir the pot and see what comes out.
That deck sounds heinous, Ailey, I must
Yeah.
say.
You want to play?
Yeah, I'm in. I'll play against you. I'll rack up my wins, okay?
Oh, boy. All right, Jared, what you got, bud? You need to get back into this somehow. And we are going to discard, goodbye, Mayhem Devil, and land. Keep drawing. That's a Haywire Mites.
Okay.
Yeah, that could kill Leyline Binding.
Get back a Fable, sure, but, you know, the whole problem of 11 power in the air is...
that's substantial.
And that's a Harvester and a land, so no way to deal with Atraxa. And to be fair, I don't think Jared should leave in a lot of removal, and as I kind of look at his list, he just can't kill that card. He has one Bitter Triumph. Otherwise, like, his best way to remove Atraxa from the game is to remove Will from the game.
Yeah.
You know, that's
no pick or poison,
Yeah.
nothing like that.
No, so once you get to this point, Jared's basically conceded the game. You know, just says, I can get under most of these type draws, but with the mulligan to 4, it just wasn't possible.
That's bad beats.
Yeah.
So Haywire Mites on the stack, hits the board. That can take care of something and gain him a little bit of life. But yeah, I don't know if there's much you could do here to stem the bleeding.
Yeah. No, I think we're just kind of going through the motions here. And should be pretty wrapped up here. I mean, look at Will's hand. It's just 1 million threats.
I'm sad. Oh, Jund, how I love you. But alas, it is not to be. As Jared Calabrese goes down to 3.
Wow.
I'm writing in prose and sonnets, you know?
That was impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. You're a poet and you didn't know it.
I didn't. If it went to 2, though, it wouldn't have rhymed, so... Thanks,
Jared
Will?
was very considerate there for that, yeah.
Rough beats here. The Malta 4, not finding anything to get going in game 1, so just everything came out pretty good here for Will.
We get to see the everything token at least? Okay.
Hey, what is it? It's a, I don't know.
It's a piece of paper that says everything. Okay, that's about what I would expect from Will, so I'm here for
I'm
it.
trying to figure out what's underneath it, but...
yeah, who knows? Who knows? Looks like a different game type thing, but...
which we shall not name.
because we don't know it.
No, that's precisely it, yeah. All right.
Okay, so...
Oh, okay.
All right, I like this from Jared. Doesn't have the win right now, but maybe there's a chance that he can sacrifice the things, get Yigra down, have 2 Cauldron Familiars. Now remember, you don't have to have this stuff in your yard. Like, you can go level 2, then sacrifice the things, mill yourself, and who knows, Jared can get lucky, hit 2 Cauldron Familiars, hit Yigra, and hope Will's hand is full of absolute nonsense. There is a chance Jared can win this game because of that talent, for sure.
It's a very slim chance.
Agreed, agreed. He's got to get lucky, but give yourself a chance.
All right, so... Any permanent sacrifice will get him 2 cards.
Yeah.
In the bin. They need to be kitty cats. Oh, look at all the thinks. He is in the tank, man.
Yeah, just debating what is the only way to be able to win. And basically, when you get to this stage of the game, Jared isn't thinking about, okay, I need to try to play around this. I need to try to play around that. It's, okay, how can I actually win if my opponent has absolutely nothing? And Leyline Binding on the Scavenger's talent should be the door shutter.
Yeah. Rough. Leyline Binding number 2 or 3.
Yep.
2? 3? There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
That's going to take care of the Kloss. So, alas... Nothing going there for Jared. No spectacular comeback. Okay.
We're going to try.
That's going to be the hand extended from Jared. Jund not behaving this round, but still sitting at 3-1. So really good record there. Will Pulliam advances to 4-0.
Yep, absolutely. Big congrats to Will. Will is an incredible, incredible player who is torn up these SCG tours back in the past, and has made his mark at the professional level events as well. So anytime he's in a tournament, you gotta expect he's gonna have a deep run. So big congrats to him at going to 4-0.